Hello, Spartan fans. I'm Kevin St. Onge. I was a tackling dummy, a sophomore on that 1984 team, so I'm pretty jazzed about tonight's special guest and this week's celebration. But, Coach, this is your show, this is your team and your program. You come off a video game number game against those St. Thomas Aquinas Saints.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't what we were looking for. It wasn't the game plan to be tied 42-42 with 8 minutes left in the game. But anytime you get a win in one of those situations, it's a good thing, and we're glad that we were on the right end of it.
Got to tell you, Coach, your credibility with me is kind of shot because you've been trying to convince me all season that this is a 3 yards and a cloud of dust offense, grounded out, pounded out, and you go out there and post 417 yards of rushing. What's going on here, Coach?
Sometimes, you got a kid that just electrifies everything, and right now Gavin is doing that job, making people miss and, running for long runs. The offense certainly isn't set up for that. It's just, you got a special kid back there, you get special results.
Let's talk about that special kid, because the offense that you have him running, this flexbone offense, puts him in charge and asks him to make plays not just with his legs but with his mind. He has a lot of reads back there, doesn't he, Coach?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the whole offense is based on, how he can read the field and he can read players on the line of scrimmage. And, so far, we've had a few hiccups, but, I'd say 90% of the time he's making the right choice.
But let's be honest, he's not doing this alone. You had a dominating performance from your offensive line to spring him and 4 other running backs for big yardage in this game.
No, absolutely. The kids up front have done a great job all season, staying on their blocks and driving people off the ball. And, having Emmanuel Ugu back there as well as a threat is another great thing to have, and that opens up Gavin as well.
So with Gavin running for 247 yards, 5 touchdowns, he added a 6th on a punt return. But you also had senior Sean Hanrahan toughen out some yards. Super sophomore, Caden Zielinski jumping in there, 9 carries, 86. And a touchdown as well. You mentioned Junior Ugu. He's had some trouble with holding on to the ball in a couple of games this year, but he ran tough for you between the tackles.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to remember, he's a triple option fullback. He's getting whacked by 6 or 7 guys in every play. It's tough to squeeze the rock sometimes. He certainly works on it every day, and hopefully in the long part of the season here, he stops putting it on the carpet and he can shore it up.
The New Hampshire Sports Page website has the Spartans second in the South Conference with 147 total points on the season. You gave up 42 to a now 2-2 team. Any concerns about your defense?
Yes, the goal is to not let the other team score.
Usually.
And we have not done that so far, so we need we have some things to fix. We gotta learn how to defend the pass better.
So having said that, Coach, you've now faced and beaten 3 of D2's top 4 rated passing quarterbacks, including St. Thomas Aquinas' Cam Paquette. He was 9 of 10 for 108 yards and a couple of touchdown passes in the first half alone. He finished 22 of 40, 240 for the game, 3 touchdowns, but live by the pass, die by the pass. Late interception to Sean Hanrahan kind of stymied their effort to stay with you point for point.
Yeah, we got frazzled. We had to make some changes. We weren't getting any pressure on the quarterback. We were playing a zone. He was picking it apart. Fourth quarter, we switched it up, started giving him some man looks he wasn't really quite ready for. Sean Hanrahan did a great job, caught in front of one, and and really, in a game where everybody's scoring in every possession, anytime you get a stop, it's a huge thing.
You had a couple of good stops in that game, though, that really slowed that momentum late in the second half. Are you ready for this week's special feature?
I am. I'm very excited.
Spartan family, players, coaches, cheerleaders, trainers, band members, friends, fans. Milford will be celebrating the 35th anniversary of the 1984 state championship football team on October 4th, when the Spartans, currently 4-0, host Sauhegan 3-1 right here at Spartan Field on West Street in Milford. Game time is 7 p.m. At halftime, we will pay tribute to those student athletes and members of the Spartan family, including this man joining us right here, the head coach of the Spartans in 1984, George Edwards. Thanks for joining us, Coach. Good to see you.
Good to be here. Coach, good to see you.
Pleasure.
Coach, you know this man, Keith Jones?
Yeah, we've met before.
Welcome to the program. Glad to have you, Coach. Let's start right at the beginning. Take us back to 1984. Milford, it was an area high school at the time.
That's right.
3 towns, Milford, Mount Vernon, and Amherst, sent students to this one particular high school. It was coming off 3 consecutive losing seasons, not that far removed from 4 consecutive Division II state championships. What did you think you were inheriting as a rookie head coach at the age of
27?
27, he said. Let me get a level on the mic for that. 27, he said, rookie head coach. What were your thoughts?
Well, we knew that there was a lot of potential in the team. There were some really great student athletes that were a part of that team, and there was a really good senior class. And we all know that senior leadership is really vitally important in high school athletics. So I think we had 24 seniors on that team who had 3 years of experience, and they were ready to do business. They worked hard all summer. Coach Irwin got them ready, so I was really fortunate to step into a great situation with a lot of great athletes and also a terrific coaching staff with Coach Irwin, Coach Barassa, Coach Duffy. We really had a great group of guys.
So let's talk about this season. It was a 7-2 record, but after the first 2 games, you're only 1-1. What were your thoughts at that point, Coach?
Well, we went into Exeter in week 1 and came away with a big victory there. The Exeter Blue Hawks are always tough, and then went up to Laconia and then didn't come away on the right side of that one. But I thought we had something to build on, and we kind of knew that Coach Fitzgerald up at Laconia always has his kids ready. So we thought we had something to build on, and we turned out that was right.
Dropped another one at Pinkerton a little later in the season, but ran off 4 consecutive wins to round out the season and go into the playoffs. What were your thoughts heading into the playoffs, knowing you had to go on the road at Pinkerton again and try to beat a team that you couldn't beat in the regular season?
That was a real tough battle, and Pinkerton had a great team with some really good athletes, and great coaching at Pinkerton. So we just had to get ready, and we thought we saw some things on film that we could exploit, and put together a great game plan for the game. Coach Irwin did a great job with the defense, and we were just really fortunate. We got up for it. We went in there to their house, and we were able to come away with an overtime victory.
13-7 over the Astros of Pinkerton, and then that earns you the right to go back to Laconia late November in New Hampshire. Frozen field, snow falling, on a field that's now a parking lot behind the Laconia High School. What were your thoughts about going into that game?
We were just so blessed to have that opportunity. Whenever you have a long season, you put in so much work, even before the season starts, preseason, all year round. So to have that opportunity to play for a state championship is just, it's a unique opportunity. We were blessed, and kids came up big, and it wasn't pretty, but we came away with the W, and that's what counts. 2
plays I'm going to test your memory on, if I could, Coach, in that game. Number 1, you score a touchdown. Your senior captain, running back Dean Hardwick, scores the touchdown. He went for a $112 and on 30 carries. It was a workhorse. And then you decide to put in a sophomore place kicker, his very first play at the varsity level, to kick that all-important extra point. What were your thoughts on that, Coach?
Well, there really wasn't a lot to think about in that situation. Dave Carter was our regular kicker, and Dave had a pretty badly sprained ankle. We were able to tape him up and get him into a position where, he could play the quarterback spot. But
5 for 10, 55 yards, managed the game for you.
Did a great job, but just, we didn't feel like his plant foot was there so that, he could take the extra point. And, if you know anything at all about kicking, which I don't know a whole lot about kicking, but I know the plant foot's pretty doggone important. And, so, Clay had been working hard all season. It was time to give him a shot. He went in, he nailed it for us.
Second play I have to ask you about is Laconia then comes back, matches that touchdown. They decide to go for 2. That 2-point conversion attempt, however, is defended in the end zone. Do you remember the play?
Yeah, I do.
Can you talk us through it a little bit?
Yeah, they had run a similar play for the touchdown, I believe, and it was, again, it was just being aware of the situation, being aware of who they wanted to go to, doing some good scouting. And again, Coach Irwin just came through with us, put the kids and everybody in the right position. Tony Roberts came up with the pick.
Remembered the player too. Good for you, Coach.
Yep.
35 years in the making, and you have that right at the tip of your tongue.
Some things you don't forget, and when players come up big like that, that's something that stays in your mind for a long time.
Fondest memory of that time period, Coach?
Oh my gosh, I think, it was kind of an emotional time for us. We were moving up here. I was living in Sutton, New Hampshire, and commuting every day down here to coach and to teach, and had the opportunity to share it with my wife and my mother-in-law and my young son, who's now 35 years old, and and also, had the opportunity to share it with my parents, who came up just about every weekend, the end of the season,
No kidding.
from New Jersey,
Yeah.
came to the games,
Wow.
rooted us on. So it was a special time for me.
So let's take it off the field just for a moment. Tell our viewers and our fans what you've been doing with yourself since that time.
Well, I became a high school principal. I was a high school principal here in New Hampshire for 21 years, and had a great career. Had the opportunity to have both my sons at my school. My older son was a cross-country runner. My younger son played football, played on this field actually.
Is that right?
Yeah, and ended up going to college, playing a little college football. And for the last 11 years, I've been working for the regional accrediting agency that accredits high schools and colleges all over New England. In fact, that's where I just came from. Came from a visit at a high school down in Dorchester, Massachusetts, and just really enjoy being able to get out, go to different schools, help schools improve. So it's been a great career.
So taking it back onto the field, since 1984, how have you seen the game change? Your time, you were running a pro-style offense, a lot of power eye football, I believe a 5-3 base defense. You see Coach Jones's flex bone offense. It's really kind of a throwback in a way.
Yeah, I think the development of the passing game is probably the biggest thing that I've seen happen over the years. And the option that quarterbacks have and that offenses have to read the defense and make decisions on the fly. That's not something that we did a whole lot of 35 years ago.
A lot of predetermined plays.
Predetermined plays, and when we did have option for the quarterback to make, it was pretty simple. We would maybe flip a play from one side to the other if it was a running play, and we saw that one side of the defense was stronger than the other, but we didn't do a whole lot of audible, and there certainly wasn't a lot of reading on the fly.
So this is a question for both of you, state champion coaches, both of you, 2003,
Yeah.
1984. What's the relationship that you have with your former players? In your case, 35 years removed. In your case, about 16 years removed. They're grown men now, families of their own. Some of their children are now playing at this level and perhaps even college and beyond.
I still have a great relationship with most of my kids, and not just that on those teams, on all the teams. I live here in town. The kids that are still here, I see them. I go to their weddings. I go to their baptisms, all that stuff.
That's great.
We've always tried to make this into a really family-orientated program, and kids remember that. And I think kids have good experiences, and we live with them and see them grow.
Coach?
Same, it's awesome. I think, it's a great opportunity to stay connected to you and to some of the other guys that were on the team. And, it is a family. You just feel so connected to the players that you have the honor to coach. And I feel, very fortunate to have that opportunity.
One opportunity for you to stay connected is this Friday night. Will you be joining us at halftime here on the field, the 50-yard line?
Absolutely. Been in touch with Coach Duffy, been in touch with Coach Barassa. I know they're both going to be there. We're hoping that Coach Irwin will be here as well. We've reached out to the athletic director, Mr. Hardwick. We're hoping that he'll be here, and I know that there are players coming from all over the country. We've got people coming flying
California,
in,
North Carolina,
yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah, so we're really psyched. It'll be great to see everybody, and we hope that there's a big crowd that'll be here and can share in the opportunity with us.
Coach, you want to stick around for the scouting report on the Souhegan Sabres as Coach Jones and I continue the Coaches Corner show here?
Love to.
So the next opponent coming in here Friday night, Souhegan, they're 3-1, but they haven't beaten a team with a winning record. Their 3 wins have been over Sanborn, they're winless. Conval, 1-3. St. Thomas Aquinas, you dropped them to 2-2. The Souhegan loss on the season was to Alvern. They're 3-1. Thoughts on Souhegan and the strength of their record?
Well, the loss to Alvern, don't forget, was 23-22 as time expired. So
Absolutely.
It was a pretty good football game. They're talented. They got skilled kids all over the place. They got a couple great linemen in Mike Maroon and the kid Kapapchowicz. We're going to have our hands full. If you've seen that, how well we defend against the pass, and they're willing to throw it. So, hopefully it's not 63-42 again. But
as a fan, we'd love to see
that.
that.
You guys love that aerial bombardment stuff. But I'm hoping that we play well. I'm hoping we play solid defense, and I just need to win by 1.
So another quarterback like you've seen the last couple of weeks, Austin Jane has established himself as the quarterback for the Sabres. 198 yards per game passing, 7 touchdowns. Nice thing about Jane is that he doesn't turn the ball over. He manages the game nicely, 1 interception on the season. You going to be able to turn him over at all, Coach?
Well, that's always the goal. You know, I don't even care if we turn him over as long as we make him punt a few times. I mean, I don't. You know, we made St. Thomas punt a few times last Saturday. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we play well. We don't turn the ball over, and you know, we're standing at the end.
Given the history of these towns, Milford, Mont Vernon, Amherst, combined with the reunion and celebration at halftime, what do you think the atmosphere will be like here at Spartan Stadium? You've been here more recently, Coach, the last 20-something years.
Organized chaos, I like to call it. You know, it will be 10, 12 deep around the fence. There'll be people everywhere. There'll be people over there. You know, it should be good and clean. You know, our rivalry is solid, but it's not a negative rivalry. You know, years ago when I first started, we might have some issues with the whole, you know, the kids versus the kids thing. But now, you know, the kids grow up together. They're on a lot of the same youth teams together. It's pretty clean. You know, Coach Bauquette and I are very good friends. So, you know, it should be good.
Excellent. He is the 1984 state champion head coach of the Spartans, George Edwards. He is the 2003 state champion of the Spartans and current head coach, Keith Jones. I'm Kevin St. Onge, as I mentioned at the outset, a tackling dummy in 1984, but from that on that 1984 team. But I'm saying thank you for joining us here on the Coach's Corner show. It is the Spartans hosting the Sabres in a neighborhood little grudge match. Friday, October 4th, 7 p.m. kickoff. The cameras of Granite Town Media will be here, and you can see all the action on Facebook, YouTube, Milford's local access channel. I've been telling you 20, but this weekend it'll be on channel 22, a Spartan marathon of games. Not only this season's games, but also we hope to have the 1984 championship game up and broadcasting as well. Check out GTM's Facebook page for links and program scheduling. Also, don't forget the Spartan Spotlight right here on all the platforms of Granite Town Media, where we feature Spartan football players telling their 2019 football story every week. On behalf of the Milford Football Booster Club, I'm Kevin St. Onge saying thank you for your support, and go Spartans.